Big Cat's coming back at you live with another episode of Shadowverse. Why am I still doing this? Because I can. So I guess we'll talk about while we're waiting for the actual battle to start, which if you want to skip ahead, it's probably going to be around the 17-minute mark-ish. It's a little bit later before we get into battle for a lot more story progress. In later episodes, I'll probably start cutting down a lot of story stuff because a lot of the story just boils down to friendship, oh no, then tournaments, oh no, and then friendship again. Pretty repetitive. But to recap from the first episode, because if you didn't watch that, don't worry, nothing happened except for death by tutorial. We're trying to find a club that quote-unquote does not exist, but does exact same time. So we're trying to get information about that. While it's going on, I'm going to talk about the actual anime, because I started watching it. I haven't finished it, obviously, but I watched a good portion of it. Or not a good portion, I watched 3 episodes. There's like 40-something episodes. It's like, oh no. And there's also a second season, too. It's like, oh no. But the first 3 episodes, it made me question a lot, because the way they handled the episodes is a lot better than the way the game handles the first part of the story. Like, in the game, or in the anime, there was, like, at least to my knowledge from what I've seen so far, there might be the whole issue of, like, them making a club on that later on, but in the anime, they didn't mention anything about a club. They were just, like, friends that battled and crap like that, and then pretty much just went to try shit. I know it sounds weird to say that, but basically it's pretty much what happened. To give an even more example of how weird the anime is compared to the game, in the anime, Hiro actually never even had a phone. He got a phone because apparently there was some like special phone locked up in the basement area. And he went and just grabbed it. But in this game, it's like he's known about Shadowverse all of his life, apparently, and he's played it too all his life, which is weird in comparison when you like think about the comparisons that the anime did to the game. Another thing too that was also weird was like Hiro only battled 2 of the characters. So far in the first 3 episodes, he's done, I think, roughly 3 battles, if I remember correctly. And they're all against characters we have not seen in the game, so obviously I'm not going to spoil it, but when those characters pop up, I will say, oh hey, he fought this character, and he fought that character, XYZ. But he fought 3 characters, and he won against them all in the first try, you know, standard typical Yu-Gi-Oh bullshit. But each of those characters, it's like it had like practically the same storyline in the game, which makes it weird. Because, for an example, there's this whole thing in the anime, and it's like the first episode where one of the characters gets their phone stolen by some phone snatcher, and in this game, you end up battling, it's like later on, but you end up battling the phone snatcher. But in the anime, that's like the first battle. And Hiro does it himself too. And it's his very first fucking battle. Which makes it weird because the guy who's quote unquote the phone snatcher was ranked relatively high. And so I'm just like, how? I don't know. Also, as you can tell, I have done a lot of grinding in between episodes. You can see the 12 out of 24. I'm going to tell you now, I have like a good 15 videos recorded for this already. Just the video footage recorded. It took me until like the 14th video in between, like when I was doing a grinding in between to get cards, stuff like that, to get all 24 of the special platinum cards. Because you saw at the bottom of the cards there was like what was it? It was 141, something like that, 99, and then 65, and then 24. 24, if I remember correctly, is the platinum cards. It took me that long just to get all the platinum cards. And the worst part about it is I didn't even summon the last platinum card. I got it from a random duel. So had I not done that one, it took me forever. And it was only because I was trying to get one fucking card. One fucking card. One card. In that card, I couldn't get it.
There's only one thing to do. Head to the teacher's office and
Also, I don't know why they were such a dumbass to not think to go and talk to or figure out who the club advisor was from the get-go. Like, that to me just seems really stupid. You're trying to find a club that you think doesn't exist. Wouldn't your first thing to do is figure out who the club advisor might be? Wouldn't that be your first thing to do? RC, like, if there was a list of, like, teacher-sponsored clubs or some shit, like, I don't understand this, but that goes, like, to them just trying to make a makeshift story for the game. Which makes it even weirder, too, because I feel like watching anime and seeing all the parallels between the game and the anime, I feel like they're going to pull this whole bullshit where they're basically going to do everything you do in the anime, but in the game, just slightly different. Another thing, too, the professor that's in this anime or in the game is not in the anime. Or at least to my knowledge so far. I haven't seen them. At least they're not your homeroom anime, let's put it that way. But, apparently it's a different professor. Which the professor in the anime so far is pretty much like a slight asshole, which is interesting. I don't like. Makise might have been lazy as shit, but at least he was an asshole. But yeah, back to the anime though. It's just there was a lot of weird parallels. I couldn't.
Feels like we've been who? Are you supposed to be an owl?
I just couldn't get over.
That's it. We've been hoodwinked.
Also, Momori in the anime, she's a lot more confident than she is in the game. And I'll bring this up more like later on when you see her like talk more often. But she was hella more confident in the game. Like, she tried to take on the Film Snatcher herself. You know, she lost, but she tried to take him on. Also, they missed out on certain duel opportunities. They could have shown some cool stuff. Now, I know I'm talking up the anime like super good, but if I were to compare, it's like a really, really bad version of like Yu-Gi-Oh! And I say that because like the fights boil down to, they'll show some flash images within the fight, and then they'll start explaining things halfway through with like HPs like all over the place. It's just like, what the hell is going on? It's like if Yugi was fighting Kaiba, and then halfway through they decided like, oh, Kaiba now just has 15 blue eyes white dragons on the field because fuck the rules, and it's just like, how did they get from point A to B? Because you just see him play cards and just like randomly, oh yeah, now I'm in overflow mode. What the fuck? I mean, like, if you play the game, you understand what's going on. Because like when he's in overflow mode, it's like, oh, okay, he has over 7 mana points, obviously. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, they could have did a better job explaining it. It's like that. Because even Card Fight Vanguard, which is another anime I've watched, which I would actually want to play the game at one point, because I just don't understand a lot of stuff when it comes to those games, stuff like that. I need to... Oh boy. I mean, I watch the anime, but I still don't understand how to play the game. That's like true nowadays, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like the way they pulled the bullshit in the Yu-Gi-Oh! On the original one, he got the moon, and he's like, I'll destroy the moon. It's just like, huh? You can't do that. But aside from that though, they don't really explain the gameplay a lot. They kind of just like string you along with enough to like understand what's going on. Another thing too that I'll hit on is that in this game, which you won't probably see until way later, most likely, unless if I have one of the battles with Hero recorded, which I don't think I do, but you won't see it later. But this game does have special animations for certain cards. Each of the main characters, like Hiro, Momori, and Kazuki, and most of the other characters we'll meet later on, excluding, well, I don't know so far about Ray. I don't know if Ray has a special card or not, which is who we're about to meet. I know I just spoiled it. Ha ha ha, I spoiled things. Anyway, but
Where did it come from?
But yeah, each of them have a special card that is just hella fucking broken, and I won't be showing the gameplay of this because it's pointless, but basically the way to get the cards so far is you have to do these little events with them where it's like kind of like Persona instance where you're doing a social link,
Take it down.
and it's just like
Wait,
I don't.
Shadowverse? Did you
The
say
sort
Shadowverse?
of things are so
Leave this
basic.
to us, Memori. With
Like it's
Shadowverse,
beyond basic,
anything is
and
possible.
I don't want to show it. Like even later on, like the first time I actually sat down and watched all of them, the first part of it, I was just like, "Fuck this," and I started just speeding through everything. But yeah, no, they have a lot of animated scenes like this, and also sometimes where they actually show actual animation.
As you can see, I'm still very much alive.
But they also have a lot of characters that are just in the game so far when I play that are just very generic. So, like I said, I'll probably start cutting out scenes after this episode or next episode, maybe one of the next two episodes, and start trying to shorten down the episodes just so you can see most of the fights and stuff like that, and just get the context of the fights.
Yeah.
Only because
So your name's
I
Ray,
just
huh? Are you a member of
the story's
Shadowverse
not
Club?
bad. It's just
Yeah.
there's a lot of filler time between things that are just kind of stupid and some things you can just automatically predict in 3 seconds without even having to try to predict.
But I'm afraid I can't.
Yeah, but so far in the anime, I have not run into Ray's character yet in the anime. Again, only 3 episodes in. I'm gonna keep watching some more, but
If anything,
from what I can tell, the anime pretty much follows,
Wait, is that who I think?
or the game pretty much follows the anime, because I think the anime came out first for the most part, but just slightly different story. It's
After all,
weird. But now we get to meet our favorite character again. Yeah, if you didn't watch the first episode, like I said, no problem, because the first episode just did not matter as much.
President Kagura, didn't it?
oof, don't say that. Just
Yes,
her name's
President
Jim,
Bitch.
you know?
That is her new name, President Bitch.
It seems my prediction was right on the nose. I had a feeling I'd find you here.
Wait, Kagura, just what the heck is going on?
In this world, results are everything. That's just common sense. Therefore, as of this moment, the Shadowverse Club is hereby disbanded.
What I do think this game props for is that they actually did reanimate like every scene they have like that, because the character that you play as, she is not in the anime at all in any way, shape, or form. So they actually animated your character in, and it makes it feel like your character is actually there. So I have to give him props for that, because especially if I'm pretty sure if I chose the guy character, he would also still appear too, just like you, like the girl is.
Matters. The Shadowverse Club has. I'm sorry to disappoint you, especially after working so hard
Yeah.
to find me.
This part is always so weird to me, because it's just like,
Please, Kagura.
I don't understand this.
Shadowverse is
I don't understand this at all.
With friends, and we can't just leave Ray high and dry here.
Very well. I've heard your argument. But it'll take more than words to change my mind. You'll have to show results. That's just common sense.
You have to show results. That's just common sense. What kind of fucking bullshit club type shit is this?
That's the spirit. Shadowverse Showdown.
Yeah, now we get our second match of the show. Probably like my 30th match in total, because I did a lot of grinding off screen. So, speaking of which, out of all the different types of crafts right now, Haven Craft is definitely my favorite, although the strongest craft. Also, I did a really dumb move here, and I'll explain why in a minute. But Haven Craft is definitely one of my favorites. I always love Haven Craft. I always have, because it just, for me, it feels like putting chess pieces on the board. When the chess pieces evolve, it's just like now an entire army, you have to deal with it. Why was I an idiot for doing what I did? So, Skull Flame is the card I just sent back into the deck. And what I didn't know at the time, and I learned this later, the way Skull Flame works, it works like Runecraft does and Spell Boost. And what Spell Boost does is basically, and this is for the newbies, if you're not a newbie, just bear with it. What Spell Boost does, anytime you play a spell, the cards in your hand get spell boosted, and those effects differ. Like for certain cards, it can increase the amount of damage they do from the spell, or in other cards, it can lower the cost of the card. So you see how I have 4 mana, I can only play up to basically 4 mana in cost. So I played 3 now, I only have 1 left, but I have nothing I can play for 1. So I just basically, almost in my turn, I forgot I could just attack straight up. Anyway, so the reason why I was a dumbass, because Skullflame has a similar spell boost, but it's different. It's basically every time I play an Amulet, which is basically like the Featherwing Dragon Descent or the Beast Vows card I played earlier that ended up summoning that tiger. Anytime I play one of those, his cost goes down by 1. So you're going to see it here, I think, what I'm talking about. So you see how his cost went down from 7 to 6 is because I played the Dragon Descent card, and that's when I realized, oh wow, I am a dumbass. I should have left that in my hand the entire time. Yeah, that is a great pull 1 card to have. But like I said, I love having Hidden Grab because it's just a lot of play down a lot of really powerful amulets and then just let them slowly awaken and then just do some crazy shit with it. So another thing too to mention is that for like the first half of the game, the AI will like never evolve their cards unless it's like an important battle. Why, I have no fucking clue. Like I really don't have a fucking clue as to why. And I wish I did, but that's just how the AI is. So, obviously because he's not going to use his abilities as he has or should, it's a pretty easy fight. And I don't mean to twist it, I actually do lose some fights in the game, especially during certain boss scenes. I actually have lost fights, and what I'll probably do is just show a clip of me getting my ass handed to me, because I feel like that's just the funniest thing to show. So, but then I'll show the X fight on the way. Most times it's I only use once and I win afterwards. There are a few times where I lost like twice, and it was just because of pure bullshit. Because this game likes to basically be like, oh, we know your deck's pretty balanced, but you know what we'll do? We'll just give you every high-powered card you have that you can't play and just constantly give it to you until you lose. Yes, this game will pull that bullshit, and it's just like any Yu-Gi-Oh game where you have a great deck and then for some reason you draw all the cards you literally cannot play and only draw them. It's like, I have 40 cards in this deck, why am I drawing the 5 cards that I cannot play? And only drawing them.
You'll keep your promise, right, Kagura?
I don't recall making any promises, Mr. Yugasaki.
Wait, really?
Now
See,
that
she's
you
a total
mention
bitch.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so,
However, you were able to show me the results I requested, and as such, I suppose it's only appropriate to rescind the club's disbandment.
you mean it?
But only on a provisional basis. There will be conditions for your club to meet. I'll need to see concrete results. Otherwise, it will be abolished as originally intended.
Yeah, no, I really don't like your character.
So it's still
Now, later on, like I said, with every character, you get to learn more about them. Later on, anyone who doesn't look like a background character, which you know what I mean. From after seeing like the first episode, even if you didn't see the first episode, the second episode, just enough to see exactly whose background it was not. You get to know more about each of those characters, and at certain points, you do get to quote unquote battle them, although
An excellent
so
question.
far I'm not going to say who or who. Well, some of them you get to battle, some of them you don't. Some of them you just get to like talk to and stuff like that. Like the best example of this would be Mr. Makase. You don't really have, or so far as I've seen, you don't get to battle him, but you get to talk to him a lot and like learn more about him. That's with a few of the characters too. You like learn more about them, you don't actually battle them. But then we battle Kagura. Well, you'll have to come back to the keep watching the series.
How are we
Yeah,
supposed to do that?
yeah. You see what I did there? I'm gonna make you wonder.
And I don't
Yeah.
mean just any tournament.
What do you mean?
Win the national championship. If you're truly serious about
Yeah, this is a bullshit thing too. Yeah, you have to go to nationals with barely any time because fuck you.
National championship? Isn't that setting the bar a little?
Sounds like fun. Let's go for it.
Any other questions? If there's nothing else,
Hero's
I'll
a
be taking
dumbass,
my-
and apparently my character's also a dumbass too.
For now,
We live in
focus
a
on
world of
finding 2
dumbasses.
new club members. Only then can we discuss what comes next.
Consider it done. Thanks for everything, Kagura.
Don't misunderstand. I'm merely interested in seeing results. That's just common sense.
That's just common sense.
Right.
That's just common
Just
sense.
as scary as the rules.
That's just common
Right? I
sense.
don't know.
So, for now, we just need to...
Yeah.
Are you guys really serious about recruiting new members?
You betcha. If we all work together.
Also, I don't know how I feel about
can bring
Ray.
new life into the shadow.
But I'll talk more about him in another episode.
Assuming
Get
it's
this
even
episode's
possible.
basically about
Let's
to
try
end.
asking all our friends tomorrow.
Yeah, you
Um,
too, Ray.
with
Sure.
this is basically ending as we only have a minute left, and the rest of this is basically
I'm a third-year student,
friendship. We can do this with friendship power.
Seriously?
I
totally
Big Cat
thought you
Lou
were
signing
younger than
out.
us.
Oh, no. And we were so rude to you.
Like,
before.
comment, subscribe, if you like the video. Question of the day: if you play Shadowverse, what is your favorite
Hey,
craft?
don't worry about it.
And if you don't, what craft would you like to see? Because actually, I do play I think almost every craft in these episodes.
Should we call
Yeah, I do.
Professor
Only thing I
J?
suck at though is
There's no
sword
need for that.
and
Anyway, it's getting
um
pretty late, so let's call it a day.
force.
Okay.
Sword and force I
the
suck
real
at, but my
hunt
favorites are
starts
definitely
tomorrow
Dragon
then.
and Haven.
Finding 2 new members?
Fun
This should be a land
to
for
me
us.
is definitely Rune and Bloodcraft, and Shadowcraft is just in the middle.
Let's find
Um,
members.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Havencraft later on, I do some really good cheeky duels with, because I just do some shit with it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. See you.